Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with some COP27. Today we're going to be going back into it, and we're going to listen to another one of the speakers. This is the chair for intergovernmental procedures, I think. Let's see what he's got to say. Sorry.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as the chair of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, I'm delighted and honored to address you at the opening of COP27. We are very grateful to the Egyptian government and the presidency of COP27 for hosting this crucial conference. We also want to extend our thanks to the people of Sharm el-Sheikh for their warmest welcome and generous hospitality. Thank you. The voice of today's science on climate change could not be sharper, stronger.
See, that's what you got a problem with right there, because you're wrong. Like, what y'all say does not line up. Like, there's literal evidence the other way.
Science on climate change could not be sharper, stronger, and more sobering. We are not on track today to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The time for our collective...
That's awesome. I'm glad. Thank you.
...collective action is now.
There's a sense of urgency to all of these speakers. Every one of them have talked about the fact that we need to take care of this right now. Like, right now. They started yesterday. Like, I'm doing this on Monday. So they literally started this yesterday.
IPCC reports presented to the world in February and April this year clearly show that we have the technology and the know-how to tackle climate change.
Do we?
But these options are limited by the availability of finance, among others. Adaptation options are further limited by global warming levels. With increasing warming, losses and damages will increase, and additional human and natural systems will be pushed to adaptation limits. Therefore,
we'll be pushed to our limits. That's true, and if you would like to know why, you can check out my content coming out later this week. But there is something coming. There is something to be concerned about. There is something to watch, but it is a normal, natural, recurring cycle that happens. And we just need to be aware of it and prepared for what is going to happen.
Prerequisite to the success.
We absolutely need to adapt to the current situation, but it is not by taxing people.
Successful adaptation is ambitious mitigation to keep global warming within limits, particularly 1.5 degrees Celsius, through immediate and deep cuts in the emissions of greenhouse gases.
Where are you going to do that? Are you going to do that in China, where most of those are done? No, you're not, because they're not going to cooperate. Are you going to do it in India, where a good chunk of it is done? No, you're not, because they're not going to cooperate in that. And so you're going to try to keep us from letting cows fart. You're going to try and keep us from driving cars and having an air conditioner that will work when you want it to, and having power in our houses. That's how you're going to limit things, and I'm not cool with that.
Progress on the financial flows comparable to the goals of Paris Agreement remains low. Accelerated international financial cooperation is a critical enabler of low emission and just transition. Adaptation gaps, especially in the developing countries, are particularly driven by widening disparities between the cost of adaptation and financing available to adaptation. We can achieve the greatest gains in well-being by prioritizing finance to reduce climate risks for low-income and marginalized communities.
So they're wanting to sell some debt. Like, that's what this is about. It's about money. It's about making debt It's about selling debt to people or countries, and it's about maintaining control in that manner. The score that is going to come out that says whether or not you are complying and whether or not you can participate in society is directly tied into that.
Since the Paris Agreement, many countries have put in place climate laws, climate policies, and regulations. But their scope needs to be expanded, their ambition raised, and implemented. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to...
They want to take advantage of that opportunity, y'all.
Their ambition raised and implemented. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to save our planet and our livelihoods.
That is a very ambitious goal. You're going to save the planet. You're so awesome. You're so awesome. You're like the best, awesomest guy ever.
Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished delegates, this is an opportunity as well as an obligation. The range of options and most of all, the time available to them now will not be there for future leaders and policymakers. Now will not be there. Most of all, the time available to them now will not be there for future leaders and policymakers.
Time will not be there. We have to get this done now. We have to. In order to save the entire planet from humans, because, humans are destroying the planet. And so in order to save them from being destroyed, we have to make sure that we concentrate them in these camps real close to population centers so that we control what they can buy or sell. And in that way, we can make sure that they only buy and sell things which are particularly in line with what we want for the green agenda. Because we need the green agenda to make sure that we all walk correctly. We need to make sure that we, as people, are following in line exactly how the government tells us to do it. And the government is listening to these people who are beyond wise, like they're the most wise people ever to be wise. And like they aren't hindered by any knowledge. They're working on the blissful ignorance, right? And blissful ignorance is the best way to make decisions. Like having knowledge is dumb. And so you need to make sure that you're doing exactly what these most blissfully ignorant people are telling us to do. Because, if we raise taxes, we can get rid of carbon. And if we get rid of carbon and we stop the plants from growing, then the planet's going to be saved.
Before closing, allow me to reassure you that the scientific community remains ready to work with you and support you in every step in the way.
He said the whole scientific community, every scientist on the planet agrees. Every scientist everywhere. And if they don't agree, then they're not a scientist, right? Like, that's a given. If you don't agree with the God science, then you're not a scientist. You're just a scientism. And, like, maybe you're a science phobe if you don't agree. Maybe that's it. You're a science phobe.
Every step of the way in this journey to limit global warming and also for achieving sustainable development. Humanity, our planet, and species living on it deserve nothing less. Thank you very much.
All right, so we got another one down. They have a sense of urgency here. They very much want to get this put into place right now. They want us in line and following this probably before the first of the year. I would not be surprised if they roll this out before then. I will be really surprised if they allow things to happen tomorrow, Tuesday the 8th, to happen as they should. There is a blood moon tomorrow. Did y'all know that? There's a blood moon for the first time ever on an election day. And so here we go. I'll be very interested to see what the results are. I'm not going to try and do any live coverage like some people are, but I'll probably be watching sticks. Anyway, I hope I brought a little bit of enlightenment into what they are telling us that they want to do. They're trying to save the planet, y'all. And if we can help them to save the planet, then we definitely need to do that. We definitely need to make sure that we are aligning with this. We need to make sure that our ESG is going to be one of the high scores, and that we are going to be complying with this, because if you're not complying, then you're not going to be able to buy or sell. Like they're going to turn your currency off if you don't comply. If you drive a little bit too far and you go beyond your allotted gas, well, then you just can't buy gas at the store. Like they'll let you buy some groceries, the approved ones. Like if you're fat, you can't buy candy bars. I mean, that's just common sense, right? Or potato chips. Like you don't need that. You're fat. You need vegetables. And so if you aren't making the correct decisions, well, they can just turn that off for you, and then you don't have the option. And it makes it so much easier, right? It is so much easier when the government tells you exactly what you can and cannot buy. It's so much easier to live your life if you just comply with what the government tells you to do. You don't have any blowback. There's no pushback if you just comply with what the government tells you to do. So that's what we need to do. We, as a nation, as a world, the whole planet needs to come together in one accord, and maybe we can follow one guy, and that one guy he's going to show us what to do, what is best for the entire world. And so maybe we can find that guy like soon. Maybe that's coming soon. That would be great. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me. I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, I love you. This has been Pitt. Peace.